something inside me had just been broken. I wasn't sure what it was, but for the first time there was nothing I could think of that could make anything better. Not even Amir. As I approached the end of the alley, I turned and looked back, and the scene flashed before me again. I closed my eyes. I didn't know where Seth and his minions had gone, but I didn't care. I just wanted to get back home. The walk was the longest it had ever been back. Every step I took, my mind and body ached with defeat, and I felt as if 1,000 eyes were watching my every move as I made my way up the alley towards the markets and streets. Chatter of kites, cut hands, and Amir's victory filled the air. I should have felt proud, but I didn't. I didn't feel anything. Just emptiness. As I looked around, the world felt grey, and I felt numb, emotionless, and inanimate. I searched for some sort of feeling, something good to think of to take my mind away from what had just happened. But nothing. Tears started to plummet from my eyes when I saw Amir motionless, just standing and watching me from behind the corner at the end of the alley. The tears fell down my face. They splashed into the assortments of cuts and scratches on my cheeks. The saltiness stung my face and made my eyes water even more. Was he there the whole time, I wondered? Nothing seemed fair. I kept my head down to avoid eye contact with him all the way home. Finally, as we approached our road, I looked up, and my gaze was met by Amir's. He looked shaken too. I handed him the kite, and we returned home, barely exchanging a few words. I woke up the next morning, tired and sore all over. Still the feeling of emptiness lingered. I rolled over to ease the pain, and saw Ali standing in the corner of our hut. His arms were crossed, and he was silent. Piecing together his expressions was always easy for me to do. This time it wasn't. I couldn't tell if he was angry or not. Then his mouth spoke words that I dreaded hearing. Hassan, tell me what happened to you. Why are there cuts on your face and blood on your pants? Have you been in a fight? No, sir, I said, ashamed, looking down at the ground, wishing a fight was the least of my concerns. Do not lie to me, Hassan. What have you been up to? This time, his eyes bulged out of his skull, rendering his annoyance fairly obvious to me. I don't want to talk about it, I said, as I felt the tears forming. Again, I tried to hold them back, but yet again, they were unstoppable. In an instant, Ali's expression changed. His eyes subsided back into his skull, and his lifeless face displayed the slightest hint of compassion as his eyes searched me for an answer to his own question. It was inevitable. I had to tell him. So I did, trying to spare as many details as I could. When I finished talking, Ali looked away and said, And Amir just watched the whole time? Yes, I replied. As the words slipped away from my lips, the realization of Amir's betrayal sunk in again. Why hadn't Amir done anything? The question resonated in my head over and over again, like a Chinese symbol after it had been hit. In the coming days, I never confronted Amir about what had happened in the alley, but I knew it had caused our friendship to lose its intimacy. There was no more reading together, no more walking, no more going on adventures, not even any conversations. A deadly silence filled the air between us. His brief passing words soon dried up into sincere ignorance. As the mornings accumulated and our prolonged silence continued, I realized that maybe Amir despised me because I was now a dirty Hazara. After this, days passed into oblivion. Just a concoction of vague memories from each day filled my head every night when I closed my eyes. Without Amir, I felt alone. Sleep was my saviour. The darkness my eyelids imparted gave me a feeling of relief in knowing that I had escaped the way Amir made me feel. The disappointment, embarrassment, and pure defeat Amir made me feel every time he ignored me slipped away. And I pondered in my dreams what I had done to deserve such ignorance. Often at night, the scene in the alley replayed in my head. In my dreams, I saw Seth saying over and over again the words, "Dirty Hazara." It always stuck on the tip of my tongue long after I woke, leaving me wondering what it was about my people that had made me deserve such ill treatment. For the first time in my life, I wasn't content with my place in the world anymore. What had I personally done to deserve this mistreatment by Seth? And was I that much less of a person for Amir not to bother helping me when I needed it most?